Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. As the number of recorded worldwide infections with coronavirus exceeds 1.7 million, most governments around the world have temporarily closed educational institutions in an attempt to contain the spread of Covid-19. According to UNESCO, these nationwide closures are impacting over 91% of the world's student population. Several other countries have implemented localized closures, impacting millions of additional learners. In today's program, we'll be looking at the challenges in educating students of all ages during the pandemic. As always, we look forward to your questions, which you can send through to us at live@mta.tv. But first, let's take a look at the instructions and guidance Hazur Aqdas gave to us in his last Friday sermon.
जो ज़रूरी एहतियातें हैं, मसलन आजकल ये कहा जाता है मास्क पहनो, और दूसरी एहतियातें हैं उनको सामने रखना चाहिए। इसी तरह से बिला वजह लोगों के घरों में आने जाने से भी बचना चाहिए। हुकूमत ने भी मना की है, इससे परहेज़ करना चाहिए। आजकल यहाँ यूके में बावजूद हुकूमत के कहने के और मना करने के लोग पार्कों में जाकर इकट्ठे मिलना जुलना रखते हैं। इजाज़त तो सिर्फ इस हद तक है कि तुम वॉक कर सकते हो, थोड़ी सी खुली हवा में जा सकते हो। ये नहीं है कि पार्कों में बैठकर पिकनिक मनानी शुरू कर दो और इकट्ठे हो जाएं कई लोग। ये गलत तरीक़ा है और हुकूमत बार बार इस तरह तवज्जो दिला रही है। कारों में बैठ कर चले जाते हैं। हुकूमत ने कहा है कि अगर तुम्हें कहते हो हम हवा के लिए जाते हैं, एक्सरसाइज के लिए जाते हैं पार्क में, तो फिर पैदल जाओ घरों से या साइकिलों पर जाओ। ये कारों में इकट्ठे बैठ कर जो जाते हो, ये भी गलत तरीका है। अब बाज़ जगह काउंसिलों ने पार्किंग की जगह बंद करने का ऐलान किया है कि कारें आने की इजाज़त ही नहीं, पार्किंग की इजाज़त ही नहीं है। बहरहाल अहमदियों को इस किस्म की हरकतों से बचना चाहिए। जिनके सपुर्द मदद के काम हैं, बहुत सारे वॉलंटियर खुदाम अहमदिया ने पेश किए हैं और भी मदद कर रहे हैं, वो तमाम एहतियातों और दुआओं के साथ इस मदद के फरीज़े को सरअंजाम दें और बेएहतियातियों से बचें। बिला वजह अपने आप को हलाकत में न डालें। ये जहालत है, ये कोई बहादुरी नहीं है, ये जहालत कहलाती है। बस बहुत एहतियात करें।
Now, schools, colleges and universities throughout the world provide a focused environment for students to come together and enhance their education. They also provide a platform for friendship and give a nice break to the parents. Let's take a closer look at the impact COVID-19 has had on teaching and learning worldwide.
Children can bring levity to any situation, including a pandemic. But with schools closed in many countries for the foreseeable future, their education and supervision is now only down to their parents.
Part of it is stimulating their brains. Part of it is just, what are they going to do for these hours that we're in the house?
As parents and children are realizing how much they miss structured education, authorities and teachers the world over are swapping the whiteboard for a webcam.
So boys, we've got quite a few people joined us already. So
whilst for decades and generations, we've developed this understanding of how children learn, and we're still trying to understand how children respond to different challenges. And this is an unprecedented challenge.
More and more schools in the West are setting up virtual classrooms to keep the sense of norm for children. Meanwhile, Japan has already leaped into the future by having the world's first avatar-based robot graduation. In the present, however, some schools in France and the UK are trying to keep things running as regular school days as much as they can, by keeping tabs on the mental health of students and maintaining a sense of routine.
So we've insisted the boys wear their uniform, because that's something that's routine.
It's extremely important for the children to see their teachers, to be able to interact with them, and also to see their classmates. We're staying at home, but we have the advantage of seeing the smiles of other children.
This may be all well and good for the more developed nations out there. The real challenges of keeping up education are in the developing countries, where those without access to smartphones, laptops or the internet are in danger of missing out.
We are not prepared to face it, especially those students with the lowest resources who do not have internet or a computer. So they will be more affected by the suspension of classes because they are not going to be able to advance or continue with their learning.
Well, there is good news. An example in Syria where one of the channels is doing increased broadcasts of regular school lesson plans each day, giving children access to education at home without the need for internet.
Currently, we are broadcasting 12 hours live. There are no recorded lessons. We had different programs before, but now we are focusing on the lost lessons.
A TV channel in Senegal is taking the same approach with daily lessons for all ages, but going a step further by providing a platform for teachers to come together.
The idea is for teachers to meet and talk about difficulties students face and impart learning methods. Students can now be part of the discussion.
And even in Turkish refugee camps for those fleeing war, teachers are coming together and broadcasting lessons for children via WhatsApp.
Coronavirus is dangerous, so we tried to ban students from gatherings. We tried to deliver the lesson in their own tent via WhatsApp groups. It covers 70% of the lessons that were delivered in the tents in front of the students.
And the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is not behind by providing regular dars, Q&As with imams and Quran classes for the benefit of the youth. Just get in touch with your local Jamaat president for more details. And if your children's school is not providing any virtual lessons, it's important for both parents to get involved, obtain a lesson plan and teach with supervision.
So I can be home with the girls and my wife will still work but is working from home. So in some ways it's difficult for her because the kids are around while she's trying to work, while I'm looking after the kids and making sure they're getting that education. Constantly
having children present at home while you're also trying to work from home will turn into a nightmare if you don't maintain a structure. Create a timetable and maintain the discipline of a school at home by establishing a routine. And remember, it's only for a short time.
The effects of lockdown and school closures will vary from child to child and from country to country, but the impact may be even tougher for more vulnerable and disadvantaged communities. To help us understand this further, we are now joined by Sekou Omar Dibba, who is a lecturer in public health in the University of Gambia. Assalamu alaikum Dibba Sahib. Can you tell us a little bit more about the challenges in education facing Gambia following this pandemic?
Welcome, salam. Well, I think the major challenge is in this country, you've got about 670,000 students in primary school, secondary school, and about 19,000 students in tertiary universities, including universities. This is a huge challenge. With closure of schools, for the government to satisfy this big need is a challenge, really.
How do children from poorer backgrounds access educational material if they don't have access to the internet or television?
Very good question. I think students coming from poor backgrounds and poor households will definitely lose out a lot. They may not have the necessary resources like laptops and smartphones to keep track and follow the online courses. And secondly, online courses require a lot of self-discipline and vigilance from households. I can see students from poor backgrounds really losing out.
Can you give us some numbers in terms of the perspective of the impact of this issue? And what do you feel the long-term effects of this disruption will be to Gambia?
Well, the long-term effects of this pandemic and the close of schools is an interesting but complicated combination, really. The school calendar will be affected adversely, and there's going to be a huge backlog in terms of curriculum material to cover. And we don't know when schools are going to reopen, but once schools are open, you're going to have to, there's going to be a big backlog, and for the lecturers and the entire system to cope with that may be a challenge. The second long-term effect, I think, is going to have on the country is the lockdown is really has resulted in people not going out to run after their daily business, and that's going to affect income. So people's purchasing power is going to go down drastically So there's going to be a huge welfare problem in this country unless the government responds fast. I think the government needs to respond fast. Again, the government has pronounced some preventive measures, and I don't see much public cooperation in that area. People have to understand that this is a serious contagious disease, and their cooperation with government is critical. I think that's another area. Unless people agree, people follow the public health instructions and listen to the authorities, we may have an escalation of cases in this country. So far, we have 9 cases. I hope and pray that we don't have more.
Thank you for your time, Omar Dibba Sahib, who is a lecturer in public health in the University of Gambia. Now, children of different ages and backgrounds across the world perceive this lockdown differently. To understand this further, we asked children from different Jamaats across the world to share their thoughts and stories about the effect of this pandemic on them.
बढ़ती रहे खुदा की मोहब्बत खुदा करे हासिल हो तुमको दीद की लज़्ज़त खुदा करे उठता रहे तरक्की
I can't go to my real classroom, so instead I do online meetings with my friends and my teacher. I also get to see them.
Due to this lockdown, I have no choice but to stay at home. Now I'm attending online classes. My teachers are trying so hard to give us all the same environment. Now I'm praying that it all ends soon and I can attend my school.
Because of coronavirus, I can't go to school, but I like doing arts and crafts at home.
In 5th grade, due to coronavirus, my school is closed and my exams are cancelled, so I have to study at home.
My mock exams are cancelled and my board exams are postponed. Everyone is asking the same question, that when will they take place? I'm very stressed out and I'm very worried that how to fix my timetable and how to make my schedule according to my studies.
London is currently under lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. This means that all schools are temporarily shut, which has had a negative impact on our education.
This is just some of the work that I have been doing for the last 3 years in preparation for my GCSEs, which will now all be going to waste, unfortunately.
I miss my school because coronavirus has come. I miss it because I like my studies. I miss them. I miss my teachers. I miss my friends.
My school has been shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic, which makes the remote learning much more difficult for me as I cannot focus in the lessons at home. Due to schools being shut and we still have content to cover for our GCSEs, teachers have been posting online lessons for us to do at home, but it's not the same as having the teacher in front of you because you cannot ask questions and you cannot fully understand the topic.
बढ़ती रहे खुदा की मोहब्बत.
Unfortunately, Corona has struck our country as well. Our schools are closed and I am studying at home. I miss school because I enjoy studying at school more because of the atmosphere, and I get time to see my friends and play with them. I pray to Allah the Almighty to remove this epidemic so we can live our normal lives again.
Kindness is keeping others safe. Kindness is free.
We now turn to our next guest, Nadeem Rahman Sahib, who was an assistant head teacher in a secondary school in South London and is the National Secretary Taaleem in the United Kingdom. Assalamu alaikum, Nadeem Sahib.
Wa alaikum assalam, peace and blessings of God be upon you, Kaleem Saab.
Nadeem Sahib, can I go straight to our first question, which is, what are and were the challenges that teachers faced in light of this pandemic?
I think there are many challenges teachers are facing at the moment, apart from the obvious not having 60 pair of eyes looking at you in a class. You're now having to deal with students online. There are issues about assessment, monitoring, catering for the needs of students. Are there free school meals? Are there pupil premium students? How do you cater for them online? And I think the biggest issue for schools at the moment and teachers are, how are they actually teaching those students? Is it via email? Is it via online platform? So I think all of them together are making life very hard for teachers at the moment.
And what kind of problems are students facing, and in particular those about to sit exams?
Oh, students, unfortunately, they're going through a very rough time at the moment. Apart from having to share their devices with their parents, some students don't have devices. So how are they learning? So there are issues as well. On top of that, there are issues with their routine. They're no longer waking up at a set time, getting changed, going to school. What do they do? So there are issues there that's obviously affecting our students big time.
I understand, as you said, that the UK Jamaat, like many others across the world, has been helping to educate thousands of children who are now not going to school. Can you tell a little bit more about what's being done?
Yes, absolutely. When this COVID-19 situation started, UK Amir Saab, Rafiq Hayat Saab instructed us we should start something. Instantaneously, within a week, we started our Talim classes, which are taught by professional teachers that usually teach in-state education or private education in the UK. And up to date, we've got over 200 lessons planned, and we have been teaching for the last 2 weeks with professional teachers, with all the English, maths, computer science, RS, all the standard subjects, and also tarbiyati subjects like the Holy Quran, Salat. At the moment, we're getting on average about 70 students per class using software platforms to educate them. And the feedback we've got so far has been excellent.
Let's now head to our last segment where we visit a Jamaat and find out how they are doing in this difficult time. For this, we went to Mauritius. Mauritius is a small island in the Indian Ocean, about 1,200 miles off the coast of East Africa, with a population of around 1.3 million. It was one of the first Jamaats to be established outside of India in 1915. We spoke to Shahid Hulesh earlier, who gave us more insight.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Mauritius has been under lockdown since the 20th of March. The first cases were noted in Mauritius on the 18th of March. The first lockdown was for 2 weeks, then extended to the 15th of April, and now extended to the 3rd of May. Mauritius today counts 319 cases of COVID-19, 9 deaths, and 28 recoveries. As a member of the Jamaat, it is quite difficult to realize when you cannot go to the mosque. But we need to adapt to the situation. So we are ensuring that we are doing namaz by Jamaat on time, 5 times a day, here with the family. Secondly, connecting to the MTA, ensuring that the children and ourselves are watching MTA on a regular basis. Thirdly, ensuring that we are having the recitation of the Quran. And fourthly, reading the books of the Promised Messiah. That is how we are ensuring that we stay connected to the Jamaat. Here in Mauritius, all the business are closed. It is a sanitary curfew. Only essential services are working. The police, ambulance, pharmacy, hospital, and supermarkets. And obviously, the message from the government is to ensure social distancing, ensure that we can help all together to flatten the curve. The children here are staying at home. Obviously, the first few days were like feeling as vacation. Now that they've been here for more than 3 weeks, a lot of things have changed. So there is now online learning, distance education that's already happening with their teachers connecting to them on a daily basis. We are also having more concerns from the parents and more approach from the parents to ensure that they are looking at what the kids are doing on a daily basis. And that's helping to ensure that some sort of an education that's continuing at home. Though it's not perfect, things are moving in the right direction. We just hope that everyone maintains the discipline that the government has been imposing, ensuring that we all maintain the social distancing, maintain the curfew, stay at home, and flatten the curve.
With that, we conclude today's programme. Don't forget to join us again on Sunday for our live programme in English. Due to popular demand, we have decided to broadcast Wednesday's programme in Urdu for the benefit of our Urdu-speaking viewers. With that, we take your leave and hope and pray that you and your loved ones are kept safe and well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.